Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I made this penny passport. If you have watched my previous video about my Michigan journal, you will know that me and my husband go on a trip every year for our anniversary. And while we're on that trip, we like to collect the flat pennies. This one is from the Rainforest Cafe, and we went there on our last trip to Michigan. And so we like to collect them, and we have quite a handful. They do sell the penny passports in the stores where you can buy the pennies, but most of them are $6 or more, and so I've decided I would make my own. So this is what it looks like, and I made it into a trifold. And then I have inserts in here with slits that fit the pennies like that. And so what you will need, this one is Mod Podged, and I'm not a big Mod Podge fan. I don't like the way it makes the paper look. And so I am going to be making another video on a laminated one, but it won't be a trifold, it'll just be a fold. And then I think I'm going to make a fabric and vinyl one. So if you're interested in those, stick around and make sure you subscribe to my channel and like the video. So what you'll need is you'll need one piece of paper. I chose this one because of the luggage on it. I thought it'd be perfect. You need this to be 12 inches long by 6 inches tall. You will need the inserts. I created these on my Cricut, and what I did was I made a file that was 3.5 inches wide by 6 inches long, and I made 1-inch slits, and I spaced them about 1 inch apart. I measured my pennies, and that was roughly the size that they were. I could make these 3/4 inches, which I might do, make them a little smaller. And so you will need 3 of these, and if I can, I will share the link to the file that I made. And then you will need a scoring board so you can score this, and I've already scored it. You'll need to score it at 3.5, 4, and that gives you a 1/2 inch gap so that it will sit up like this. And then I have scored at 8 and 7.5. This one I used some paper, not cardstock, it was just regular old paper, and then these are cardstock inside. I highly recommend that you use all cardstock if you have it, because this is a little flimsy, and I thought the Mod Podge would help, but it's still a little weak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this over. Remember when you score to keep the side you want facing out up, because valleys become mountains, as I learned from other YouTubers. And so then I'm just going to score this really good, and you're going to need some glue. I recommend getting quick dry tacky glue. I really like it. It's a good quality glue, and it dries pretty fast. And this one I am not going to be Mod Podging. It should last. The other thing you'll need is, I made this on my Cricut also, and it's just a square, and I had it cut out with penny passport on it. So I do have one of those right there for it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my insert. It doesn't matter which way you have it up facing. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. So I'm going to take my quick tacky glue, and what I'm going to do is I am going to do the edges of the paper here. I'm just doing a thin layer. You don't need too much. When you do the top and the bottom, you want to do it as close to the lines up here, close to the top as possible, because of the fact that the pennies do go in these slots, and if they're closed off, they won't go in. And so you're just going to do a thin edge. And then I do like to do one line down the center. It just gives it extra support. And so then I'm just going to glue this in there. You want to make sure, I mean, the sides are pretty much the same. They're 6 inches by 3.5. So it's going to be an exact fit. So you don't have to worry about lining it up. I mean, you want to line it up to make sure that you got it all in, but you don't have to worry about it being off center. So there's that one, and I'm going to go ahead and quickly glue the next two in. Like I said, just staying along the edge. If you have a fine line applicator, I'd recommend using that. I made my hole in my tacky glue probably a little too big, and so I have a little trouble with it coming out too fast. So, and you want to be quick with this because, like I said, it's quick dry glue, and it dries pretty quick. And it has a pretty good strong for paper to paper. So again, I'm just lining it right up with the lines inside because it should be an exact fit. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this again. I'm using this glass thing so it's easier to wipe up the glue into. You can be careful that way you don't get glue too much. You always want to protect your workstation, your desk, or what you're working on, because sometimes the glue and stuff you work is not going to come off your desk, and you don't want your desk to be stained. I just got this desk, and if you watched the video before this, you would see my desk tour and what I like to keep on my desk and right in my desk. If you watched my craft room tour, it's going to be different than what it was in that video I just bought. And this one is a little bit larger, and that's okay because it's going to give us a little hangover in our side. But if you want to, you can trim this off. It's about a 1/2 inch. And it doesn't really matter because it still folds up nicely. It just gives you a little wider edge. I think I'm going to trim mine off though. That way it's nice and flush with everything else. So if you follow my directions, you're probably going to have to trim this piece off. Which is no big deal. I'll just grab my trimmer here and just put it in here and trim it off. If you want to avoid this, make your paper, instead of 12 inches, make it 7 3/4. And that will get rid of that extra 1/2 inch. Actually, it's probably a 1/4 inch, so you're going to want to make it 11 7/8. Or no, 11 3/4 would probably be what you need to do. So I just trimmed it off there. That way it folds up better and it still has, there we go. And so now I'm just going to take my quick tacky glue again, and I'm just going to center this on here. This file I made right here, I won't be sharing it because I just used some letter wording. You can make your own, make it however you want to. But I made this 3 1/4, I believe, by 2 inches. And I'm just going to put this on here the best I can in the blank spaces. That way it's got plenty to stick to. Making sure to get a good amount of glue on here. If you want, just do the out edges and then do some of the inside. And then I'm just going to place this on here. You want to make sure you center it the way you want it, because you're not going to be able to replace it because of the glue drying so fast. So I'm going to give this some time to let dry. This glue usually dries within pretty much, I mean, you got a permanent hold in about 3 seconds, but I recommend like 5 or 10 minutes before you do a lot of fiddling with it. You just want to make sure that it's good and tight before you start moving it around. So I'm going to end the video here. All I'm going to do now is place my pennies inside. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see the other upcoming penny passports that I'm going to be making, make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you for watching.